Unknown Number is a new Netflix documentary that has truly taken the internet by storm for a multitude of reasons. Mainly, its discovery of the worst mother in human history. But like many docs of the modern era, this documentary did not end when the credits rolled. In fact, you know what, I was gonna say that was only the beginning, but then I realized how cliched and dumb that was, so I'm gonna hold back on that front. Either way, the controversial goings-on of this documentary has now found its way onto TikTok, like everything does. Because to put it lightly, some people weren't too happy with the way that they were portrayed in said documentary. Now, we're of course going to cover the documentary first and then some of the responses from the interviewees. Before that though, be sure to subscribe to the channel. You must do so to make up for this one guy that I've lost because he found Prince to be creepy. I mean, come on lad, you're quitting watching a YouTuber that presumably you enjoy because you're scared of a kitten, and not only that, but one of the greatest, most incredible, adorable kittens that mankind has ever produced. Yes, that's why my shirt was so deformed the whole time. He was literally sleeping in it, and I've woken him up, so he's probably not too happy at the minute. But Prince, how do you feel that this bloke doesn't, he thinks you're ugly, he thinks you're creepy, and he's unsubscribed? You've hurt my business, wee boy. Like, come on, Mr. Commenter, where's your courage, pal? It's just a kitten, get over it. But either way, now that he's gone, we've lost an incredibly important cornerstone of the community, and you guys need to make up for that. So subscribe to the channel or else. Anyways, let's stop talking about this documentary now, because at its core, it's a documentary about cyberbullying, I would say, to sum it up into one word. And it's a crazy documentary, by the way, as much as I have my issues with it, which we'll get into later, don't you worry, but it is fundamentally, it's insane. To give you all a quick rundown of what's happened so far before we get to this pivotal moment in the documentary, there's one girl called Lauren, who is the daughter of a family of two parents who are loving and together, supposedly. Lauren's a normal girl in a normal school, is in a normal house, everything's completely normal suburban American dream lifestyle, hippy-dippy, dancing dildos, and peaches and mangoes bollocks, right? You get what I mean. One day, Lauren starts getting some incredibly dangerous and horrible and bullying text messages on her phone from a random number that she does not have saved on her phone. And these messages were, were brutal, by the way. I can show some of them right now. I'll just skip to some random points in the documentary and show you some of the messages, because they were brutal. They were so bad, in fact, that they actually went beyond just mere cyberbullying and into the territory of stalking, harassment, and even threats. Just a fair warning, I am going to have to heavily edit the clips that you see so that Netflix does not block this video, so just bear in mind that that's why it's all weird. This is not what the documentary actually looks like. It's all my doing.
Owen loves me, and I will always be the girl he loves. He will be with me while your lonely, ugly ass is alone.
So just for more context, if you're not familiar with the documentary, Owen is Lauren's girlfriend at the time that these messages started being sent to her. It was quite a classic teenage, sort of naive relationship, but, you know, you could tell they had a lot of affection for each other. It was a cute relationship, right? There was nothing wrong with it. And they were together for a long time as well. I think like 2-3 years. And as you can see, because the unknown number is using names like Owen, it's clearly someone who was in Lauren's life, at least to an extent, right? It's not just a stranger sending random bullying messages to another stranger.
Lo, stop fucking calling. Ain't answering.
In a lot of the texts, the unknown sender called me by my nickname, Lo.
So yeah, just sort of more evidence that it has to have been someone that was very familiar with Lauren as a person, right? So pretty much narrows it down to someone either, it has to be in the school, essentially, right? Someone in school does not like Lauren and is trying to ruin her life from the outskirts, right? Break up their relationship, make her feel like shit, just a classic cyberbully piece of shit.
You are worthless and mean nothing. You never have. Get a fucking life out of here. Owen will never look at you again or talk to you. You his life up so bad. His family hates you for it, and he will never in his life acknowledge you again.
So that message is because Owen was obviously being heavily affected by these text messages as well, just because of how truly fucking vile they are, and his family as well. They're all affected by this, and the plan to break them up actually did work, right? They did break up because of it. It was fucking horrible. I'm sure we can all agree, whoever's sending these messages to Lauren, if you're willing to say this to someone, you're scum, and you definitely have no affection for them. There is no world where you can claim that you are doing this for the greater good or anything of the sort. This is important as well, actually, but this will be very important later. Owen got another girlfriend after Lauren, and then Owen's mum started getting messages from the same anonymous number that Lauren was getting messages from, right? So this person clearly is obsessed with Owen and wants him to be single by any means necessary for some weird fucking reason. Now, we've skipped through a lot here. In fact, the main chunk of this video is going to start like around 52 minutes into the documentary. There's a lot of sort of jibber-jabbering in the first hour or so of the doc. It's one of the biggest issues with it, in my opinion. But it is important just to show like just how important these messages were to Lauren's family's life and how much it was affecting them, how much it was genuinely ruining their life, because they were so stalkerish, so deranged, and so threatening that they had to move house multiple times. It was ruining their financial situation, and by the end of this, by this point in the doc, they live in like a wee trailer park, which is a far cry from the legitimate, nice house that they lived in at the start of the documentary. Like, this whole thing has completely ruined them. It's ruined her relationship, it's ruined her living situation, it's ruined her financial situation, it's ruined her reputation at school, it's ruined how much she wants to go to school, just her friendships, her relationships in general. This unknown number has fucked Lauren's life up to no end. And it's also fucked Owen's life as well. Maybe a bit less so, but it's fucked him as well, for sure. As well as the families involved, right? This unknown number has caused a lot of distress to a lot of people. And at around 50 minutes, we get the big twist that I'm sure a lot of you either saw coming or know because you've seen the documentary already. And yeah, it's that holy shit, the mother was the one sending all of these messages the whole time. Obviously, when I say the mother, I mean Lauren's mum was the one sending these messages. Now, I'll be real. When I got to this point in the documentary to start off with, I thought there's half an hour left. This cannot be the end. Surely the person sending these messages was like they found a way to hack their number to be the same one as Lauren's, or there's an IP address thing or something. Like, there's no way Lauren's mum would send these fucking messages to her for years. Like, this has been going on for 2 whole years at this point. But to my dismay, it became very clear very quickly that no, it was Lauren's mum sending these messages the whole time. I'm not joking you when I say I was sat here with my girlfriend watching this documentary with my jaw on the fucking floor by this point. There were messages that were like, oh, the reason Owen left you is because you don't give him enough blowjobs. Shit, there was so many messages that told Lauren directly to kill herself. And it was the mother sending them the whole time. I'll try to find some of those clips and put them in now. Like, they are genuinely psychopathic, man. So obviously the police and the documentary filmmakers had been involved for a while now, and this is them having finally found out that it's Lauren's mum, confronting her and questioning her.
When we were doing the investigation and the FBI got involved, we come up with some stuff that comes back to you.
My number?
Yep.
So obviously she starts off denying it, then she realizes, oh shit, no, I'm banged to rights. And the cop's first thought is, do you have a crush on this fucking 14-year-old boy, Owen? Because you're trying to break him up with your daughter, and then also try to break him up with whatever new girlfriend he gets with. And that's a very important point that I feel as though the documentary does not dwell on nearly enough, although I do understand, I guess, to an extent. The documentary filmmakers can't exactly go, yep, this woman, fucking pedophile. Because obviously that would make them liable to a whole host of lawsuits. But the police definitely could have, or at least questioned her a bit more on that front, because it's very, very fucking suspicious in my opinion. But we'll talk more about that in a second, because it does become more important then. But I want to bear in mind, I want to make it clear to you all how mental this is, even more so than you think right now, because the whole documentary, we did not know Lauren's mum was sending these messages, and Lauren's mum did not know that she was going to be found out for it either. She thought she was sat there in front of these filmmakers. In this documentary, you can see her like 10 minutes before this point going like, oh my god, these messages, they're just so horrible and I wish I could stop them. And Lauren would come home from school crying about the messages and find comfort in her mother, and she'd fucking comfort her and give her hugs and be like, it's gonna be okay, don't worry, we'll find this fucker. And the whole time, it was her sending the bastard messages. If that's not sociopathy, then I truly don't know what is. Like, that is a scary level of just absolute fucking god complex. To think, one, that you'd get away with it, and then two, just to want to be seen as like a savior so much that you are willing to completely destroy you and another family's life, even to the detriment of yourself. I don't think I've ever met a woman like Kendra in my entire life. And just saying that now, I've clocked, oh my god, her name is fucking Kendra. What is it with Kendra's and insanity in the last month or so?
Like, the first one didn't start, like, with me.
Okay.
I think that's a complete lie, by the way, and so does Lauren later in the documentary. She goes like, no, I think my mom's lying about the first ones not being her. It's just her trying to distance herself as far as she possibly can whilst knowing that she is, in fact, banged to fucking rights. It's difficult not to see this for what it is, which is a series of bad excuses to a police interrogation that was very impromptu and unexpected. She truly did not believe that she would get caught, or maybe in a weird way she did. It's difficult to psychoanalyze people like this because they're not normal in any way, shape, or form. before. Me and you, right? We're normal people who feel bad when we hurt our friends' feelings. This piece of shit is someone who has ruined her daughter's life, ruined her husband's life, ruined the life of her daughter's boyfriend. In fact, sexually fucking harassed her daughter's boyfriend for 2 years on end and didn't feel a speck of guilt for it. How the fuck are you meant to read someone like that unless you're the most incredible professional in existence? Okay, so now this is the moment where the police tell Lauren that it was her mum sending these messages the whole time. And again, it really is difficult to denote just how central these messages and this unknown number was to Lauren's life. This has been her everything, her every waking moment. Like, every worry, every fear that she has had has been because of this unknown number for like 2 years now. I'd recommend watching the documentary because a commentary video like this is not going to get that across as effectively as the documentary can. And even the documentary can't get it across that effectively either. The only person who really knows how Lauren feels here is Lauren. Like, there is no one else, in my opinion, who has gone through a situation like this. And now, for some reason, they allowed the mother to be in the same room as Lauren whilst this information was being told to her, which I don't agree with at all, but I will say leads to morbidly fascinating results. I'll show you what I mean.
Sometimes when we're not thinking straight, we do some things that aren't right. She said you had no idea what was going on, and I believe that.
I've got to stop. I can't play the whole fucking clip because it's so disturbing what we're watching now. She's being told it is clearly very, very traumatic moment for her, realizing that her mum was the one behind these messages the whole fucking time. I can only imagine what is going through her head in this moment, right? And while she's being told this fucking crippling information, Kendra deems it necessary to get up and start like hugging up on her to be like a source of comfort, like she has been for the last 2 years whenever Lauren would come home crying about these messages. I don't know if that's just her doing it because she doesn't know what else to do with herself and she feels as though sitting there coldly would just be too cold and unemotional a response. I don't know if she's still clinging on to this idea that she is some kind of savior or source of comfort for the people in her life and that she's worth being around in any way, shape, or form. What I do know is that it's incredibly disturbing and that I have no idea why the police let them be in the same room whilst this information was being conveyed. In my opinion, they shouldn't be together. There should be like some sort of fucking restraining order, some sort of like provision that makes it very difficult for them to be around each other, alone especially. And you can see Lauren, you cannot criticize her behavior at all, not pushing her off despite everything that she's done. She doesn't know what to fucking do with herself. Like, she's been given this information. It is the last person, I'm sure, that she was expecting to have been sending all of this shit. I'm sure at first she was delighted, like, oh, great, we found the fucking person. Oh, it's my, oh. Like, again, we have no idea what's going through her head. She has no idea what to do with herself, so of course she's just sort of taking what's given to her. I don't think she even gets a fucking word out this whole scene, and who can blame her? It's poor lass.
So this is my fucking wife doing this? So I come flying home.
May I ask you what phone did you take?
So Sean here is obviously not wanting to believe that his wife would do such a thing. One, because you wouldn't want your wife to do such a thing. It's pretty self-explanatory. But two, I think there's also some shit in there that's like, oh, I've been made a mug out of. Like, I've been fooled for all this time. I've trusted this woman. I put my trust in her. If she ends up being this horrible person, that reflects horribly on me as well. And that's not a bad thing to feel, by the way. I totally understand why he would feel like that. I was actually talking to my girlfriend about this when this part of the documentary came on, and I was like, I almost feel worse for Sean than I do Lauren. Because for Lauren, this is 2 years of her life fucked, right? Her mother's not the person she thought she was, and everything's ruined for her. But for the dad, it's like, I pictured if my girlfriend was doing this to a child that we had and they were 15 years old. Like, if we had a kid and they were 15, supposing we had children at like, I don't know, 25 years old, I would have been with my girlfriend for over 20 years by that point. And if I found out that she was that kind of person and I had no idea, that's like over 20 years of my life completely fucking wasted. Because there's no chance you're staying with someone after they do such a thing if you're any kind of reasonable person. Something like this is undeniably worse than cheating. Cheating in many cases is someone who fucks up over the course of a day or a couple hours, but something like this, it was like I think I'd rather get hit than my wife do something like this. Because even hitting, it's like, maybe it's one moment of uncontrollable anger. And that's not justifiable at all. Like, it does not justify hitting your partner. But it's more understandable than something like this, I feel. And me personally, I think I would rather get hit then my wife do this. I'm just trying to paint out here how exactly soul-crushing something like this would be. Because unlike many other forms of abuse, whether it be physical or emotional, this here was a prolonged, calculated 2.5-year attack on your daughter and everything she knows and everything she loves, as well as flirtatious, predatory messages to your daughter's boyfriend and his family as well. Now, obviously, there are forms of abuse in relationships that are, you know, very long, years long, and are very cold and calculated, similar to this. But I'm just saying that I would rather many horrible alternatives to this. So now here's Sean confronting Kendra about what the fuck she's done to their daughter.
Yeah. What about the Texas job? You still have that, or you got terminated from that?
I don't have that.
You don't have that either?
No.
That's another thing that I didn't even mention. There's so much horrible shit this woman's done. She was lying about the status of her job, and she wasn't working for like the 2 years where she was doing this, which explains why she had so much free time to do it. And that does not make their ever-declining financial situation because of the stress this was causing any better, by the way. It's like this woman is a completely fucking irredeemable piece of fucking filth.
So you've been lying to me for like 6 months, a year, and you haven't been working for Texas?
Right.
Okay, you need to go somewhere tonight. I don't know where you gotta go, but she's gotta go. I can't do this anymore. The other house, this house. Now I know what the truth is. You need to go.
I can't leave her.
I give so much credit to the dad for how he's handling this fucking situation, by the way. Like, he's not even raised his voice. I don't know many other men that wouldn't be able to hold that sort of anger in. I get that he's in front of cops and that, and they'd probably, you know, stop it from going too far. But the fact that he's this calm, despite clearly being irate, is impressive to me. Especially because it's a situation that no one will ever find themselves in. There's no blueprint for how to act in a situation like that. If someone tells you, oh, my dad died, that's sort of like worked responses that you could maybe figure out or plan before it happens. Maybe you've had that conversation with other certain people, or maybe you've had a father that passed away, so you know how it feels and you can conversate with them in a way that makes sense. Something like this, being told information like this, there is no way you can fucking prepare for it. And all things considered, I don't know if there is a better way that the dad could have handled something like this. What it all boils down to is essentially, I don't know where you're going to go, but you need to fuck off because I don't want you anywhere near my daughter. Which, like, yeah, that's 100% what should be done. And it's more than the fucking police did, by the way. I mean, the fact that they're still letting Kendra hold and fucking pet Lauren disgusts me. I mean, I usually hate to use this argument, but if this was a grown man who was sexually harassing children for 2 years, would the police be so fine and dandy letting him fucking pet their daughter? I think they'd have been separated immediately.
Okay, they're getting their stuff around and they're gonna head north.
I don't want to go with them.
Well, your dad, mom's on their way. We gotta work through this. We just gotta be separated for a little while.
Now, what I'm about to show you is what blows my mind even more than anything I've already said, right? Because after all of that, Kendra is still agreeing to be questioned by the documentary filmmakers even after being fucking caught out. Now, I've got this theory, right? I don't know what the schedules were for the interviews, right? Because usually for documentaries like this, they get a couple people and over the course of 1 to 3 days or so, they ask them all the questions needed. I don't know if they are interviewing Kendra after everything had already gone down, or if they were doing so as the events were happening, if that makes sense. Now, you're probably thinking, why the fuck would Kendra say shit like, oh, I can't believe how disgusting these messages are after everything had gone down? But, I mean, it truly wouldn't surprise me, and it won't surprise you either when you realize just how fucking strange she is. I also have a theory that the filmmakers probably knew that it was Kendra the whole time, because I feel as though if they were called to make a documentary on what, just cyberbullying, and it was some random fucker, it's like, what kind of shit documentary is this? But the only reason this documentary is as interesting as it is because it was the mother sending all the messages. So I feel like they knew the whole time. By the way, here's what happens after.
Sorry. You guys are gonna think I'm the crazy lady. It was a very high emotional day. A day of confusion, shock, a day of not even knowing how we move forward to the next day.
If you weren't told, you really wouldn't know that it was her sending all the like, she's speaking as though it's still this unknown number that we have no idea who it was. It's like, no, all of these horrible things you're talking about, it's your fault. You caused this situation. And then we get this, frankly, inspiring speech from Kendra that, in my opinion, goes to show that YouTube apology cliches aren't subject only to YouTube apologies. Nah, grown-ass women who make monumental fuck-ups and sexually harass children in front of millions on fucking Netflix do the exact same things.
Every single one of us makes mistakes. Not a single one of us has lived a perfect life.
Exactly, it's so true. Everyone makes mistakes. You leave a typo on a text message somewhere. You maybe slip on a banana peel like a goofy goober. Maybe, if you really want to go rogue with it, you accidentally kill a hamster by spraying too much perfume when you're a child. And then, you know, like everyone does, you sexually harass a bunch of children and send threatening, sexually harassing text messages to your daughter for 2 years of their life, hiding yourself the entire time and telling your daughter constantly to kill themselves almost every day, and then acting as a source of comfort when they come home. You know, just typical mistakes that everyone makes, really.
A lot of us have probably broke the law at some point or another and not got caught. I mean, I'll be honest, you know, I'm sure there people drove drunk, haven't been caught, right?
Whilst I appreciate the honesty, I feel as though laws that most people have broken, you know, maybe jaywalking, maybe they got into a fight when they were younger, yeah, maybe they did drive drunk, maybe they made one stupid decision, one impromptu dumb decision, maybe there was a bit of thievery when they were younger, I don't know, there's a ton of, maybe they broke the speed limit at one point in their life. Do I really need to tell you that somewhere between those petty crimes, drunk driving is not a petty crime actually, that shit is unforgivable, but the other ones are petty. But between those and whatever the fuck you did, there's a line, and the line is like, so what you did's here, what the fucking crimes you're thinking of are here. I would say the line is like round about this bit. So you've crossed it like massively.
But again, if you get caught, you're in the same situation and I'm in, but for a different thing.
What the fuck does that even mean? It's like, oh, everyone breaks the law every now and then, but if you get caught, you're in the exact same situation as me. It's like, sorry, love, if I get caught pirating a movie, I'll maybe be fined. I'm not in the same situation that you are. And quite frankly, the situation that you are in is far tamer than it's been.
I'm a villain, I'm a bad mom, I'm a whatever. But that's because they know one little piece of my story.
Oh, just go fuck yourself. And this is where in a regular YouTube apology, if it wasn't edited like a documentary, they go like, I was in a really dark place, blah, blah, blah. But the sign at the start as well. Talk about how you don't expect to be forgiven, you just want to apologize and all that malarkey. This is Kendra's sister here, by the way. I'm not going to play the whole clip, but she talks about how Kendra has always loved attention, which like, yeah. No shit. Here we go. I've got some more messages here that really display just how grim this whole thing was. Now, just a reminder, now that we know it was the mum sending all these things, we're gonna replay some of the messages from earlier, and under this context, hopefully you'll see it differently. So look at that. It's obvious he wants me. He laughs, smiles, touches my hair. This is about fucking Owen. This is about her daughter's 14-year-old boyfriend. Not sure what he told you, but he's coming to the Halloween party with me and we are both down to fuck. Again, this is like a woman in her mid-40s talking about a 14-year-old boy who is dating her fucking daughter. Now, the thing is that I'm mad at is the documentary goes on to like try and humanize her and explain her behavior away using like a mental health sort of excuse. And I understand that a lot of people say shit like mental health is never an excuse for bad behavior. I personally don't agree with that. I think that mental health in a lot of scenarios can be used as somewhat of an excuse for bad behavior, right? Like if you have an outburst or something, but you also have bipolar disorder, I think that your outburst is a lot easier to understand and a lot more forgivable, right? If you have Tourette's, yelling a racial slur in public is incredibly forgivable. You'd almost be an arsehole not to forgive someone for doing that because they have no control over it, right? They can't help themselves. Bottom line is, it's not their fault. Now, obviously, there are limits to that. This goes far beyond any limits that mental health can justify. I don't care what trauma you had as a child. I don't care what disorder you may have as an adult. This is not acceptable under any circumstances. And the fact that the documentary goes on to try and, I wouldn't say they try to justify it, but they sort of go down them lines, and some people by the end of it will have been fooled into feeling sorry for her. I don't think that that is acceptable. The documentary couldn't say it, but I certainly fucking can. I think this woman is a fucking pedophile. Her texts were not just harassing, they were disgustingly and overtly sexual. She was openly talking about how much she wanted to fuck a 14-year-old boy and was actually trying to break up said 14-year-old boy with all of his partners, which when you add those two things together is an incredibly bad and scary look. Especially because she was willing to do so when one of those partners was her own fucking daughter. And she was so hell-bent on doing this that she ruined her family's life over the course of 2 years, and if she was never caught, undoubtedly, it would still be going on. Owen himself even claims that she was acting wildly inappropriately towards him.
Why should I have to get her a new cell phone? I really wanted to get to the bottom of who it was, right? And that's when I started sending the text messages. To
Yeah, again, this is what I think all of that is complete bullshit. Like, it's just smoke screen. She's making shit up to try and make her actions a little more justifiable. Let's remember that even the police said that every message was linked back to her. What she's saying right now is not believable on any front, in my opinion. And this is also what fucking confused. Look at them get, like, she has allowed her to get these, like, villainous shots of her on the phone sending the fucking messages. It's so strange and, like, self-aggrandized. Like, why would you let yourself be painted in this fucking evil manner unless you just love yourself to such an extent that you want to be famous by any means necessary? Like, I'm not lying to you when I say that this woman is tapped in the head beyond anyone that I've ever known. The actions cannot be explained or understood by anyone. I'm sure even she doesn't even know why she's fucking doing any of this shit. I mean, again, those fucking messages, that now that we're looking at them now, it's like this fucking old, disgusting witch of a woman. Like, fucking wretched gremlin. I just can't believe it. The fact that she's not currently in jail sickens me. Ain't no one want to see your anorexic flat. Imagine saying that to your own fucking daughter, man.
kind of picked up on some of her insecurities. The messages weren't really targeted at her insecurities.
Were they targeted at you? Like, were you sending these messages to yourself?
That very well, possibly.
So what we've seen there is incredibly interesting. First of all, I never even clocked that, like, she's her mother. She knows her better than pretty much anyone else. When Lauren's looking for comfort, she tells her mum fucking everything. So she can use all of the information she has as ammo to make her feel even more tiny, even more small, even more horrible. And now look, the interviewer does something here that I don't think they should have done. I think when someone this fucking crazy is sat in front of you talking, let them talk, right? Do not interrupt if you can help yourself. When the interviewer there said, like, oh, were you talking about your own insecurities? You can look at fucking Kendra's eyes and you can see her go like, oh my god, this is a great out for I can use that. Yes. Oh, thank you so much. I'm gonna use that one, yeah?
And were you afraid she was gonna hurt herself? Because there were messages telling her to kill herself.
I was not scared of her hurting herself.
I mean, she's barely fucking human. Like, answers like that, the complete lack of accountability, the complete fucking lack of self-awareness. She's like a fucking gargoyle in a human's body, man. I feel like I'm looking at Emperor Palpatine at the end of a Star Wars film explain his master plan. As much as I am mad the police didn't go further, or the documentary filmmakers didn't go further or harder in terms of questioning, I understand that maybe they felt as though if they went harder or, like, went more aggressive with the questioning, she wouldn't let herself be on the documentary, right? And I understand that, right? It's important to get her, like, her voice, her answers here are incredibly telling. And if she wasn't a part of the documentary because they were too aggressive, it would really hurt the documentary. So to that extent, I understand, but I don't understand them genuinely putting, like, this manipulative music over it and trying to paint her out as someone sympathetic or someone to feel sorry for. Because that shit was all done in post, right? She has no sort of bearing on that part of it.
One of the texts that I specifically remember.
You have no friends, you fucking suck cock for guys to talk to you. Fucking vile.
Something about a blowjob. And how Owen doesn't like Lauren anymore because Lauren doesn't give him blowjobs.
She wanted her daughter to need her in such a way that she was willing to hurt her.
Yeah, very possibly that could be it. I don't think that fucking Munchausen justifies any of this shit, though. But I also feel as though we're completely ignoring the sexually harassing messages that she was sending to Owen's mother when Owen got a new girlfriend. Like, there was clearly a very unhealthy and disturbing fixation on this 14-year-old boy. That's not Munchausen, that's just predatory, right? Everything towards her daughter, fine. You can label that under some Munchausen by proxy bullshit, even though it wasn't explicitly physical, it was very emotionally damaging. But the Owen stuff is like, no, that's just predatory and pedophilic, and she cannot be fucking excused for that. This documentary treats that sexual component as though it's like an afterthought or not that important to the whole case, when for me, it's like one of the most important, disturbing parts of the whole situation.
And I'm hustling, getting everything out of there. Phone storage units, got it all in there. And we're like, we can pay this so we don't lose any of our stuff, you know? And she's like, oh yeah, it's no problem. It's only, you know, a few dollars. So we ended up losing everything that we owned in our storage units.
Yeah, again, because she was lying about having a job. Like, when I say that this fucked their lives up royally, I'm not exaggerating at all. Like, I don't even know what to say. It's that bad. It's just so bad, man.
I think pretty much everything she's told Sean for the last at least 10 years has been a lie.
Again, it's like, imagine being the husband or the dad in this situation. This is why I'd be genuinely interested to hear your thoughts in the comment section, by the way. Do you think I'm delusional or strange for almost feeling as bad for him as I do the daughter? That's not diminishing what the fucking daughter's gone through by any means at all, but like, I just feel so horrible for everyone that she's interacted with, to be honest with you.
Not having the relationship with my mom, I just don't feel like myself. I feel like I really need her in my life.
That's one of the saddest parts of this whole thing, is her, in my opinion, not even realizing the gravity of how fucking horrible a woman her mother is. But again, it's like, you cannot blame her for any of this shit. It's like the sort of, I said this to my girlfriend as well, it's like, I hope when she grows up and she's older and she really starts to understand the world a bit more, that she realizes how truly unforgivable, toxic, and far away she wants her mum to be. Because there's being nice and there's being forgiving, and then there's allowing this person to still be in your life and like an active proponent in your life after doing all of that shit. So I don't think it is forgivable, in my opinion.
She would do things for me. She would cut my own steak for me. Like, it was just to the point where like it was almost too weird.
You know what I also don't like the documentary? They're showing like these older pictures of Owen instead of the younger pictures of what he would actually look like when this whole thing was going down. I mean, even those older pictures are still fucking inappropriate and disgusting, but he was even younger than that. He was like 2 to 3 years younger than what he looks like there at the time of these messages, at the time where Kendra was trying to start a fucking relate or something with him, right? So obviously they're not allowed to be in direct contact anymore, but they still can communicate online, and look at how fucking manipulative and disgusting the messages Kendra is sending to her daughter. Now, after she's been fucking caught, look at what she's saying to her. Hello, curly monkey head. I'm mad at you. You made me sad. You only said bye. You didn't say I love you. I forgive you. XOXOXO, I love you. Have a fan Westray day. I mean, I don't even think I need to say anything to that. Fuck you, Kendra. Fuck me. That was not directed towards Kendra, by the way. Definitely do not fuck me. Combination of fant, stick, awesome, and terrific. I've never heard of stick before, and I have no idea why it's so fant, but I'd appreciate if you stop talking like a toddler, please. This is like the sort of text messages that an abusive boyfriend sends to their girl after being called out on their shit, and they're like, oh, now I need to love bomb a little bit to get her back on my side. It's like textbook, you know what I mean? I'm skipping the shit of her crying, because I really don't give a fuck. Like, I don't want to hear anything this woman has to say. But there is another part here that is important that I wanna show you all, and that's another character in Lauren's life, which is a girl called Chloe. Here's Chloe here. Now, Chloe was another girl in the school, and she was the main suspect of the one sending all of these messages before they found out it was Kendra. The reason she was a suspect is because she was a mean girl, right? She's a bully. Now, she's treated with a lot of sympathy in this documentary, and I understand that. I think she does deserve a lot of sympathy for being the main sort of suspect here and being treated so horribly and framed because of that, right? But at the same time, though, she is like a horrible textbook fucking bully. Like, she is a very nasty person. So at the same time, I'd also say, like, yeah, fuck her a little bit. But also, she's so young that it's probably the parents' fault, and you see the parents in this documentary, yeah, the parents are a lot more to blame than fucking Chloe is. As much as I don't necessarily like Chloe, we have to remember that she's also, like, 14 years old here. Why are bullies bullies? Because they feel shit about themselves. Why do they feel shit about themselves? Because their fucking parents are horrible a lot of the time. And you'll see in this documentary, you'll see very soon, yeah, her parents suck ass. Like, they are horrible, vindictive, self-aggrandizing, lack of accountability fucking freaks, man. I fucking hate them. I really hate them. I'm not a fan of Chloe either, but she's just a kid being a kid, you know what I mean? I find it difficult to put any of the blame on her necessarily. And even if she was a bully, being framed like that is still not acceptable. Like, she definitely didn't deserve that. This is Chloe's parents, just to be absolutely clear, yeah?
I thought that, like, I was losing a lot of friendships because of it.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot really blame Owen's mum for this either. She was also heavily affected and emotional from the whole thing, and if she made any mistakes during that, especially because it was actually the last person you would ever expect to actually be the one sending the messages, I also find it very difficult to blame her for what's going on either. The only person I put any blame on for this is Kendra. Now, Chloe's parents say some incredible, like, black belt waffle bullshit in a second. I want to show you what they say at the start of the documentary about their blatant bullying daughter, first of all, though. It is interesting, genuinely, to see, like, the mind of the parents of a high school bully, because it explains a lot.
7th through 8th grade, there was just multiple allegations against Chloe where she was bullying or she wasn't being nice to this person.
We had a huge friend group. I think that to some people, I'm not going to say they were offended by that, but maybe they wanted that sort of thing for themselves.
Yeah, my kid's not a bully. Yeah, the only reason people think my kid's a bully is because they're jealous of her. They're jealous of all the friends that she has because she's so sociable and great socially because of how good we did as parents. This is why they fucking get away with it. This is why bullies stay bullies, because their parents aren't willing to sit down and have a fucking conversation with their kid about why bullying is wrong. Because they lack the ability to even believe that they are bullying when faced with undeniable evidence of it. If you're getting all these allegations, like day after day, year after year even, of your child being a fucking horrendous bully, maybe you should take some of them seriously. But no, not Jimmy, not our precious Jimmy, stealing them blind. I don't know about you guys, but I think this is absolute chicanery. Oh man, oh yes. Look at what these goblins have, like, the audacity to say something like this at the end of the documentary. This will blow your bastard mind if you've not seen it, mate. This is like I'll just play it.
I remember within a day or two of our initial interview, I had sent him a text message that said that a very good part of me believes that this is probably Kendra doing this.
I told someone else that Sean and Lauren are going to play this off like they were the victim in this shit. They had no clue what was going on, and they're gonna get away with it because Mike Main didn't do his fucking job and investigate them. And that's exactly what happened.
Look at him smiling as she accuses the daughter and the father of being the perpetrators, of knowing this was going down, of orchestrating it all just to fuck their daughter over. It's like, I'm sorry, woman. Have you not seen how destroyed their lives are? The financial ruin that they're now in. The fucking mental state of Lauren after 2 years of constant harassment, many of which was sexual. Owen's life, Owen's mum, Owen's family, Owen's new girlfriend after all this shit. And you have the audacity to sit there and go, Sean and Lauren are playing the victim like little fucking pussy boys, really. I mean, we all know the truth here. You know. We know. It could never be our daughter's fault. Our daughter did nothing wrong here, and she would never do anything. She would never hurt a fly. And us too, by the way. We can't make any mistakes. In fact, we saw this coming the whole time. We knew everything. I feel like if he actually did send that text message saying that it was Kendra, the documentary would have shown it, because it is very interesting, especially if it is true. Maybe he's telling the truth about that, maybe not, but either which way, I'm sure we can all agree that this little speech that they're giving here paints the exact picture of who they are as people and how they have come out with such a mean daughter. This is it, man. This is why you cannot be angry if there's a 14-year-old girl who's a bit of a bully, because usually they have fucking parents like this. It's like, they didn't have a fucking prayer to begin with.
I'm proud of her for that.
I kept that good. That's good.
These two are like Tweedledum and Tweedledee. Fucking Beavis and Butthead type scheme that they're thinking about in their head. I mean, again, man, just look at this. You are the ugliest person I've ever seen. It's like the last person you would ever expect to say that is someone's mum. Even if you have a mum who's a complete fucking horrible piece of shit who treat you horribly their whole life, you would never expect them to say something, like, you would never expect something like that to come out of their fucking mouth. Anyone who's supposed to have any kind of modicum of care for you would never say anything like that. That's pretty much all I have to say about the documentary itself. Obviously, it's like a 2-hour documentary. I would highly recommend watching it if you're at all interested in it from the wee snippets that I've shown in this video. But unsurprisingly, after the documentary is released, Chloe has come out with some TikToks talking about her portrayal in the documentary because she was not too happy being shown out as like a bully. Because I didn't show it much in this video, but the documentary made it quite clear that she was rather mean.
I'm Chloe. I'm one of the kids who got framed in The Unknown Number on Netflix that just came out today, and I was going to tell a little bit more of my story about it. Okay, so it started when we were like 7th, 8th grade, around there, and my mom has these like Halloween parties every year up until freshman year of high school. And just for reference, no one was not invited. Anyone could come from Beale City, like it wasn't a invite. Like there was so many people that came to these. They weren't even parties. I don't know, a haunted trail. Anyway, I had no idea that there was a random text going around about her not getting invited to these parties until Kendra called or texted my mom and asked her if it was me who sent the text to Lauren. So my mom got the text from Kendra and she was like, no, like everyone was invited, like no, like there was no invite like to anyone, you could just go. So yeah, so fast forward to the end of 8th grade year, I still really didn't know about it. Like I heard like Owen was getting random texts a little bit, but like not really that much about it. So I'm pretty sure this was the beginning of freshman year. It was around like volleyball time, kind of close to like December. And that's when like Owen asked me like, hey, is this you? And I was like, I have no idea like what you're even talking about. Like I, at this point, thought it was like one like bad text or like a couple of random texts that like someone sent. I was like, no, like brush it off. So I was like, no, I didn't send that text. Also, just to clarify, Owen and these 2 other girls were like, we were all best friends freshman year, and we'd sit together in science class.
No, I think this TikTok's actually pretty fair, just dispelling some myths that some people might have had about Chloe from the documentary that were becoming, or like, I guess, escaping the realm of rumor, if that makes sense. What's a little more worrying, though, is the description to this TikTok account going live at 10K to answer everyone's questions about the documentary. Now, for me, that's pretty scummy and low to put something like that on and like market yourself and try to make yourself a star from your standout role as the horrible bully that got framed and undeniably was treated very unfairly, but you're not like, you know, you weren't a hero here. Now, look, I want to make it clear, I have no idea, this could be a fake account. Like, it could be. This could be a fake. I've seen that video reposted to many accounts, and this is just the one that happens to have the most views that I found, right? This could easily be a fake account. Especially when you look at this video here, it's like a statement she released. Hello, everyone. It's Chloe Wilson. I would just like to say to everyone saying I wasn't framed, when I got my phone searched, the unknown texting saying I got searched and nothing was found, pretending it was me, so that is what is called framed. And also, I take accountability for my actions, and I'm working on myself. I don't know. I just don't know how realistic this all is. All we know for sure is that the initial video of her talking into the camera and clearing some things up is undeniably real. I just don't know if this TikTok account itself is her directly. But the reason I bring this up is because Kaylee, one of Lauren's best friends in the documentary, basically released a response to Chloe.
Lauren was close with my sister, who was also in her grade, and then I was also close with Lauren. In general, the girls, specifically the girls in that class, were just like not very nice and inviting to other girls. Pretty cliquey and just not nice, more about drama. And I know like my sister like didn't have any friends that were girls in that grade other than Lauren that I can even recall. And my sister's really friendly and not even like that shy. So I know that both of them just really didn't want to surround themselves with those individuals, which is okay. I personally have witnessed that grade be rude to each other. Through middle school, I saw that happen. Through high school, I witnessed it happen. To Lauren, I've seen girls not be nice to her. I've witnessed girls not be nice to my sister from that class. When it talked about in the documentary, Lauren not wanting to talk to these different people and not being as outgoing.
I mean, when you hear testimony like this, as well as the shit that you do see in the documentary, as well as Chloe, as well as Chloe's parents, it is pretty clear that Chloe, yeah, she was a mean girl. Maybe she's better now. I hope she's better now. Like, I genuinely do hope that she's reflected and knows better now. You know, as you get older, your parents have less of an effect on your life. You become your own person a bit, and bullies sometimes become good people. Good people also do sometimes become bullies as well, though. It's not all ice cream and blowjobs.
Also, those individuals in the documentary as well as in the comments that want to say that Lauren was in on this whole text messaging scandal, it's just crazy because Lauren didn't want attention. She didn't need attention from anyone in her class or anyone from the school. She was friends with people that she wanted to be friends with, and she wasn't with people she didn't want to. Like, she did not have any trouble making friends. She just didn't want to be friends with certain people.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who thinks that Lauren had something to do with it and, like, was a part of the whole thing, like this fucking conspiracy tinfoil hat thing, where she knew the whole time, was actively encouraging it to be done just to frame certain people, I think that that is a level of delusion that should render you inefficient to use the internet.
Lauren was literally the sweetest girl I've ever met. She is so kind, and I have never witnessed her be mean or rude to anyone in my life.
I'm not going to play this whole video, it's 7 minutes long, but it is quite important, and yeah, it's good of her to come out like this and just defend her a little bit from people who have these fucking tinfoil hats on. She goes on to talk a bit about how, like, she has personally witnessed at basketball games and shit, Lauren sitting down, getting a text message, and just bursting into fucking tears. So yeah, that's pretty much my 2 cents on the whole situation. It's just grim. I've never known anyone like Kendra in my life. I would say she's about 100 billion times worse than the previous Kendra that we've covered on this channel. But I think, honestly, that's all I really have to say in this video. So I know this one was a bit different. I've never really done a video mainly on a documentary, but if you enjoyed it, and it does well, I'll be real here, if it does well, and but also if you enjoy it, definitely let me know in the comments. Might have been a bit too jumpy, a tad like rushed in certain sections because I'm not used to this sort of format, but again, let me know what you felt about it, and and I'd be happy to do more. It was fun. Very fucking enraging, but also kind of fun. Now, me personally, like, this shit got me so angry, it genuinely brought, like, a tear to my eye when I first started. I can see you crying as well, because it's making you really... Don't worry, mate. I've got you, mate. I'll sort you out. There's no need to cry. Hush, hush. It's all good. I'm here to help you out. There you go. This is me wiping your eyes like a good... This is what great... Never had a YouTuber do this before, do you have you? This is why I am just the coolest guy. So I don't know what I'm doing. That wasn't planned, by the way. Don't be sat there thinking I planned that fucking ending gag for the whole time. I was sat here in silence for about 30 seconds going like, oh, how should I end the video? Whatever. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one if I've not lost you with that. Bye.